Okay, this is a review of how to use the tennis ball to work out the muscles that run along your spine, along your shoulder blade, and then down here in the buttock region. Just as a quick reminder, when you're using the tennis ball, you never want to use it directly over top of your spine. You always want it to be to the side on either side of your spine. Okay? So, when we're using the tennis ball, we always start here at the top, and then we roll it the whole way down to the tailbone. Then we will use it to roll along the side of our shoulder blade from here to here. And then lastly, along the hip buttock area. So quickly, it would look something like this. I would start with the tennis ball right here at the top of my shoulder and lay flat. So at this point, I don't feel a whole lot of pressure here. What you have to do is take your arms, hug yourself so your elbows cross, and then you bridge up with your legs, and now I'm pinching the tennis ball between my shoulder and the floor. Now I can really feel it up in here. So after you bridge up, you'll probably feel some tenderness. Hold it for about 5 seconds. Push with your legs. If you can see, the tennis ball starts to roll down the side of my spine. When you find the next sore spot, hold it for about 5 to 10 seconds. And I'll say that usually at the top here is where you'll feel the most tender points. As the tennis ball rolls down, right about here now we're at like my mid-back, there's not as many sore spots, so you can speed up a little bit faster through here. Then when you get down to the bottom, you want to pull your knee toward your chest. What that does is it pushes your back down into the ball, and you roll that last little bit until you get down to your tailbone. The whole process from here to here should take about 1 minute. After you do that, you'll put it right next to the shoulder blade area. Same thing, cross your arms. This time you don't have to bridge, you just have to push a little bit. You'll feel some sore spots. Let your body sink in around that tennis ball. Let it dig into the sore spots. I know it hurts, but it'll feel better afterwards. And this one, you don't go quite as far down. I'm already out of it right about now, and that's where the tennis ball is. Lastly, we're going to do the hip buttock area. You put the tennis ball right by your tailbone, and you're sort of rolling onto your side. Now notice I'm not completely on my side, I'm not on my back, I'm somewhere in between. And with like a sweeping motion of my hips, I kind of roll the tennis ball back and forth over that area. So when doing this, again, to do the spine from here to here should take about 1 minute. The shoulder blade should take about 30 seconds, hip should take about 30 seconds, and then you would repeat on the opposite side. So what is that, 1 minute, 2 minutes, about 3 to 4 minutes, probably 5 minutes with transition time. That's about how long it should take you to do the spine using the tennis ball. Okay, this is a review of how to use the foam roller for the lower extremities as we teach in our office. We're going to be focusing on a couple of areas: the hip flexor, the quads, the calves, and then I guess not so much the lower leg, but the latissimus muscle. These are the ones I find tend to be most tight with people, and this is how I show people how to use it for the how to use the roller for this. So the first area is the hip flexor. If I flex my leg up like this, there's a crease here. This is the muscle area that we're talking about, right in here. It's not a big muscle, it's probably only about yay big. So the roller is not going to be covering a lot of ground, it's just a small little wiggle movement. You'll see it, how I'm going to do this right now. So what I would do, I find that crease area, and I put it directly over top of the roller. Another point is when I'm down, I usually put one elbow down, one hand down. That's more stable than either both hands down or both elbows down. So try to keep it like that. And once I'm on here, I envision myself sinking around the roller. That'll help it dig into the sore spot, and you just do a small little wiggle movement. I do that maybe about 5 times, 5 wiggles, and then I roll back and forth. You know, I'm going to switch to the other side so you can see me better. So wiggle 5 times, roll back, back and forth, And you'll feel it working in there. If it's sore, that means it needs to be worked out. If you're not feeling much of anything, we'll move on to the next one, which is the quad muscles. So when we roll the quads, I usually start with the side. And when you're doing that, you need to know, like at the bottom of my pocket right here, there's a bony bump in my leg. You don't want to roll over that. There's a bursa underneath there. If you roll over that with a hard piece of foam, you're going to get bursitis and irritated. So start below that bony bump. You roll all the way down to your knee and back up. So it would look something like this. My bony bump is right here. Got my elbow down and my hand down. And you kind of roll back and forth anywhere from 3 to 5 times. If it's really sore, I'd probably suck it up and try to do 5 times. If it's not too bad, 3 is probably suffice. Then we want to get the front of the thigh. So we would switch over. Now I'm rolling all the way up to here. And then again, I'm rolling all the way down to my knee. Try to find where there's sore spots. If you find a sore spot, linger on that for a little bit. I know it hurts, but that means that spot needs to be worked out. So up and down about 3 to 5 times. Next, you would do the other side. So hip flexor, quads, do it on both sides. Then we get our calf muscles. I prefer to do both of them at the same time. And what I do is I start with my toes pointing toward the ceiling and just kind of walk my hands forward. My butt's on the ground, just kind of sliding back and forth 3 to 5 times again. Then I point the toes out, so this hits more the outer part of the calf. 3 to 5 times, point them in 3 to 5 times, simple enough. So in that, we just covered hip flexor, quads, calves. The last is what's called your latissimus muscle, which is this muscle here, but it actually starts all the way down here, runs up your back, underneath your armpit, and attaches to your shoulder. It can cause back problems and shoulder problems if it gets too tight, so it's an important one to roll out too. So in this one, remembering what I said, it starts down here, runs up and then underneath to my shoulder. We got to kind of twist. I usually start on my side. I roll up and I kind of twist so that I'm on my back a little bit. Roll down, getting the side here, and again twist so now I'm on my back again. So it's this type of motion. On my back, twisting side, 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 almost onto my belly. Back and forth, again, 3 to 5 times. That's a quick recap of using the foam roller to get your hip flexors, quads, calves, and latissimus dorsi.